Welcome to the Marketing God Podcast, where we provide insights and knowledge to assist you in reaching and engaging with more people. Together, as we apply marketing insights to your good work, we hope to help more people know you, turn to you, and ultimately become loyal to God. This is week number 3, and the week's topic is brand, a strategic overview. Today, our focus is Positions Endure, and works with truth number 21 in the book Marketing God. Here is your marketing strategist, author, and guide on this journey, Donna A. Heckler.
Hello, everyone. Our topic for today is Great Positions Endure. And this is from Truth 21 in the book Marketing God. And the title of that truth is Great Positions Endure. You know, in marketing, one of the things that we talk about the most, it seems, is a position. What's the position or the position statement for the brand that we're working on? And the reason we talk about it so much is that a great position will last. It will endure. It will be used year after year after year, and it will work despite what's going on in society or in our culture. So that's what we want to dig into a little bit today. But before we do, let's turn to the Bible verse. The Bible verse we used in the book is from Psalm 100, and it's verse 5. And it reads like this: For the Lord is good, his steadfast love endures forever, and his faithfulness to all generations. What does it mean to endure, to last for all generations? How powerful is that? It's so wonderful to know that God's love is steadfast, that his love endures. But let's think about what it means for the position of your parish or your ministry to endure, to be steadfast. That will be our focus here. So the position statement is truly the role that your parish or ministry is playing in the marketplace. Now, in order to understand the role and define the role, we need to turn back to our target audience. You know, that target audience is so important. Everything is built on that. One of the things we talked about earlier on is that the brand lives in the mind of your target. So it's important for us to understand that, because as we craft this position statement, we define the role that we want our parish or ministry to have. We have to remember that in some way, shape, or form, that role, that position will be held in your consumer and your user's mind. They may not know it word for word, but they'll have a sense of it, which is one of the many reasons why we want to try and craft something that really is sustainable. It's something that you can live up to for year after year after year. These long-term sustainable positions are far more effective. It's much more effective when you don't change things all the time, which is why in marketing from a corporate perspective, we would spend so much time really trying to get the position right. A benefit of a strong position is that it helps a brand rise above a current situation. It sort of takes you out of the massive confusion. It sort of elevates you and allows you to be more strategic and not caught up with all the day-to-day dealings of society or of culture. Positions are part of an overall brand strategy, so they are a critical part, and we're going to get into some of the elements of a brand strategy in a little bit. But let's start by talking about a potential example. And this is the example we used in the book as well, but it seems to be a really good one, so we thought we'd carry it through here. We use an example from the insurance company Allstate. The tagline they have is, "You are in good hands with Allstate." Now, if I were writing their position statement, I would say it's probably something along the line of, "We are an insurance company that will always take care of you." And let's dissect that a bit. They are an insurance company, they're putting it out there, that will always take care of you. That's a very simple position, but you can see that it's clearly defining what they want their role in the marketplace to be. The advantage, if that is their position statement, and I think it's probably not too far off, is that regardless of how society changes, that position stands. And we know that because they have kept the same tagline for years and years and years. They have kept that tagline of "You were in good hands with Allstate" for many, many years. But let's think about it. So many things have changed, right? We have new technologies. Our cars are even different. We even have new types of cars. We have different home materials, building materials. So many things have changed. In the almost 100 years, I understand that they've had that tagline. And yet, they can keep using it. And why? Because it addresses a position that they are always going to take care of you. And that is sustainable. That's steadfast. That's something that is enduring despite what's going on in society. So how do you craft a position statement, a position for your ministry or your parish that is also sustainable? Well, we mentioned that you need to understand your target audience. That's always key. But we also need to understand the sandbox that we're playing in. So who else is in the sandbox? Who else is doing some of the similar work that your parish or your ministry is doing? Now also consider what makes you unique. What is it that you're doing that nobody else is doing? Those are some of the elements that you can consider as you begin to think about your own role for your parish, for your ministry, your position. Have you heard of the organization called Students for Life? They're not specifically Catholic, but they are specifically for life and against abortion. It's a fabulous organization, my friends. Their position truly is to encourage college students to be pro-life. That's what they focus on. And not only do they focus on ending abortion and focus on being pro-life, but there's a focus on students. In fact, many of the people who work for the organization are students or just recently graduated. So there's a strong commitment to understanding what students are going through. So this idea of their position around students who are very pro-life is a really wonderful example of a position that can endure. And I say that because while we are so against abortion right now, and that's what they're focused on, it doesn't mean that things won't change in society 100 years from now. And if that happens, Students for Life are still for life. And that's an important thing that allows them to be steadfast and allows their position and work to endure. Positions endure when they are challenged. And part of enduring is being challenged and being able to overcome the challenge. And I will say for brands, being challenged is no fun, but it does happen. You can be challenged in a few ways. You may have to question whether your position still holds true. You got to spend some serious time thinking about it. Are you still delivering on that role? Can you still honor that position statement? Sometimes brands' positions feel challenged because it feels like you're just slogging along. Nothing's changing, nothing's moving. You start asking the questions, are we doing the right thing? Yes, that's also a challenge. But if your brand position can endure through quiet times, through changing times, if it can navigate changing society and changing cultural norms, then you have a sustainable brand position that can be very powerful for you for many years. So I invite you to craft your position. Craft the role that your parish or your ministry is playing. Can you identify how you're unique? Do you honor that uniqueness? Do you honor that role? Are you delivering on it? Is this sounding a little bit like the brand promise? Probably. These pieces are all related, and they do work together. When we, from a corporate perspective, put together a brand strategy or a brand platform, we always include pieces like the target audience. Who are we talking to? The promise. What do we say we do? The role. What is our position in the marketplace? What makes us unique? Is that uniqueness different from everybody else? And then another thing we often add in are things called permissions to believe. Some call them proof points. But when you're putting all this language out there, we need to give those who are talking to us or listening to us reasons to believe that what we say is true. So we also craft the proof points so that they know that when we say our position is such and such, that they can believe that. They know that what we say is true. Here's the thing. Your parish or your ministry, your work is enduring. You are doing this to make a difference for the long term. You're not doing this just for a year or two. A great position reflects what you do. It reflects this role that you play, this role that is enduring, this important work that you are doing year after year. As God's love is steadfast, your work can be steadfast, trusted to be there for generations. As you reflect on this podcast, ask yourself, have you ever considered your role in the marketplace of parishes and ministries? Have you ever thought about it like that? How would you define that role? Is that definition enduring, or would it change with society changes? As I know you know, we have worksheets with each of these podcasts. For this particular worksheet, I might invite you to start with these ask yourself questions before you turn to the reflection questions in the book. I think it will make it easier to answer the reflection questions if you start with the ask yourself questions this time. See you next time, friends.
Thank you for being here. We are so glad you listened in today. Look for the worksheet for today's topic in the podcast link. We invite you to join the Marketing God Facebook group, where we share additional tools, insights, and ideas with each other. Are you looking for even more insights? You can purchase the acclaimed book, Marketing God, online at your favorite Catholic bookstore, or for larger quantities through the publisher OSV.